The Dutch Grand Prix was supposed to be the weekend where George Russell reminded everybody that he is still very much in this championship fight. On Saturday, he did exactly that. He took sprint pole, won the sprint, and looked like the Mercedes driver who had finally found his rhythm again after a difficult few rounds before the summer break. But by the time the main race ended on Sunday, the picture looked very different. Russell stood on the podium in third place. On paper, that is a strong result. Mercedes brought home 2 cars in the top 3. Kimi Antonelli finished second, and the team kept both Ferraris behind them when it mattered. Yet the way it happened will leave George with a very strange feeling, because late in the race, Mercedes asked Russell to give up his position to Antonelli. Russell had been running ahead of his younger teammate, but he was on much older tyres. The 2 Ferraris were closing in from behind, and Mercedes had to make a quick decision: let Russell defend on tyres that were fading away, or put Antonelli in front with fresher rubber and use both cars to protect the team result. The order came. Russell moved aside. Antonelli went through into second place, while Russell was left in third, with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc right behind him. The British driver then had one clear job: hold the Ferraris back long enough for Mercedes to secure the double podium. And he did it. The final laps were not easy for Russell. He had less grip, older tyres, and 2 Ferrari drivers who were desperate to find a way past at a circuit where one mistake can cost you everything. Hamilton had already spent much of the race frustrated with Ferrari's decisions, while Leclerc had enough pace to remain a threat throughout the afternoon. Russell did not panic. He placed the car well, protected the inside line, and made sure neither Ferrari had a clean opportunity to attack. In the end, Mercedes got exactly what they wanted. Antonelli second, Russell third. Ferrari left empty-handed. But there is still one problem. Antonelli was never realistically going to catch Lando Norris for the win. Norris had taken the lead back after a dramatic and chaotic race, and once he was in clean air, the McLaren driver controlled the final phase. Antonelli had good pace, but not enough to make a real move for first place. So from Russell's point of view, the question is obvious. Why was he asked to give up the position if Antonelli could not attack Norris? The answer is probably simple. Mercedes wanted the safer outcome. Antonelli had the newer tyres, had more speed at that point of the race, and was in a better position to defend against Ferrari if something unexpected happened. The team also has to think about the Constructors' Championship, where every point matters. Still, there is a difference between a team order that changes the result and one that simply changes which driver gets the better looking podium. Russell had done the hard work all weekend. He won the sprint on Saturday. He qualified ahead of Antonelli for the Grand Prix. He started from the front row. Even after Antonelli jumped him at the start, Russell stayed in the fight and kept Mercedes in a strong position. Then at the end of the race, he became the supporting driver. That is not an easy thing to accept when you are supposed to be fighting for a world championship yourself. Before the summer break, Russell was already in a difficult position. Antonelli had built a serious lead in the Drivers' Championship, and while Russell insisted that he was more relaxed after the break, the reality was clear. He needed big weekends. He needed wins. He needed Antonelli to lose points. Instead, Zandvoort gave Antonelli another second place and more valuable points. Russell got third, which is still important, but it does not change the bigger story. The Mercedes garage is slowly becoming Antonelli's territory. That would have sounded crazy at the beginning of the year. George Russell entered 2026 as the experienced Mercedes driver. He had spent years learning inside a championship-winning team. He had gone head-to-head with Lewis Hamilton. He had won races. He was expected to be the driver who would lead Mercedes into its next era. Antonelli was supposed to be the exciting young talent, fast, fearless, and clearly special, but still learning Formula One at the highest level. Instead, the Italian has become much more than that. He is now the championship leader. He has already shown that he can win under pressure. He has made mistakes, especially during this Dutch Grand Prix weekend, but he has recovered from them quickly. Even when he does not have a perfect weekend, he still seems to come away with strong points. That is what champions do. Antonelli did not have an easy Saturday. He damaged the floor of his Mercedes in sprint qualifying after running wide, and he admitted that it cost him dearly. He then finished fourth in the sprint while Russell won it. In Grand Prix qualifying, he made another small mistake at turn 1 and ended up third, just behind Russell. For a young driver leading the championship, that could have been the beginning of a bad weekend. But on Sunday, Antonelli responded. He made a brilliant start, getting ahead of Russell early on. After the red flag caused by Max Verstappen's crash, he attacked again at the restart and took the lead from Norris into turn 1. For a while, it looked like Mercedes might even have a real chance to win the Dutch Grand Prix. Norris eventually came back through. His race pace was stronger when it counted, and Antonelli could not keep the McLaren behind forever. But finishing second after such a messy weekend is still a major result. It also sends a message to Russell. Antonelli does not need every weekend to be perfect. He just needs to keep scoring. For George, that is dangerous. A driver who is more than 50 points behind his own teammate cannot rely on one good sprint win to turn the season around. He needs momentum. He needs to beat Antonelli consistently, and after Zandvoort, that task looks harder, not easier. The team order situation only adds another layer to it. Mercedes has not openly declared Antonelli its #1 driver. Toto Wolff and the team have been careful with that. They know Russell is still an elite driver, and they know the title fight is not over. There are still many races left, and Formula One can change very quickly. But teams do not always need to say it out loud. Sometimes the decisions during a race say enough. When Antonelli was placed ahead of Russell at the end of the Dutch Grand Prix, Mercedes made a choice. It was probably a logical choice for the team result. It may even have been the safest choice, but it also showed where the momentum is. Antonelli is the driver leading the championship. Antonelli is the driver with the fresher tyres. Antonelli is the driver Mercedes wanted in the stronger position. Russell was trusted to do the defending. That is not disrespectful. In fact, it shows Mercedes trusts Russell under pressure. They knew he could keep Hamilton and Leclerc behind him. They knew he would stay calm and bring the result home. But for a driver trying to close a championship gap, being trusted as the defender is not the same as being backed as the attacker. The next race at Monza will be fascinating. It is Antonelli's home race, Ferrari's biggest event of the season, and a circuit where emotions can quickly become part of the story. If Antonelli arrives there as championship leader after another podium, the pressure on Russell will become even greater. Russell still has the speed. His sprint win at Zandvoort proved that. He can qualify at the front, he can control a race, he can beat Antonelli on raw pace. But right now, Antonelli has something even more valuable: the championship position, the confidence, and the team momentum. George Russell may have finished on the podium in the Netherlands, but this was not the result he needed. He lost another chance to take points away from Antonelli, and he was asked to play a role that may not sit comfortably with him as the season moves forward. Mercedes got the result they wanted. Antonelli got the bigger trophy, and Russell is left wondering whether he is still fighting for the title or whether he is slowly becoming the man helping his teammate win it.